often should you actually be having sex with your partner? That's a question that I get asked a lot. So in today's video, I am going to answer that question. How often you and your partner should actually be getting it in. But before I get to it, first allow me to introduce myself for those who are seeing me for the first time. My name is Sherelle Thomas. I am a love and intimacy coach. I work with powerful, success-driven men and women, helping them create a more fulfilling and satisfying love life with their partner. I teach them how to do this by helping them build a deeper connection with their partner, as well as teaching mind-blowing sexual techniques that will leave both them and their partner satisfied yet yearning for more. So if you find any value in the content that you listen to today, make sure you like this video, comment below, as well as subscribe to my channel to make sure that you don't miss out. So now back to the question at hand. Let's just jump right into it. How often should you be having sex with your partner? Believe it or not, there's a lot of different research and studies that have been conducted on this topic alone. But across the board, one of the things that I found to be consistent is that a lot of experts recommend that couples have sex 1 time per week. That's it. 1 time per week has been suggested by different people, different doctors, different experts, that couples have sex 1 time per week. They have shown in the studies that they tend to be happier than those who are not actually getting it in. They suggest that couples have sex 1 time per week. However, in the same article, they do disclose that some couples don't get it in that much, not even once a month. And they've also shared in the same article by USA Today that there are some couples who have sex 12 to 14 times per week. Blew my mind. Blew my mind. Like, where are they? Where are these people? Like, if that's you and your partner, please reach out to me, because I would love to wrap my mind around how a couple can actually get it in 12 to 14 times per week. To me, like, that's amazing, because on average about twice a day. How do you do that? Like, that would be truly amazing. Or if you have sex 4 days a week and you have sex 3 times a day, that would be feasible. But anyway, I'm curious to know. So if that's you and your partner, please don't hesitate to reach out. You'll see my Instagram handle below in the comments. Also my website. However you can get in touch with me, just let me know, because I do have questions. I don't think I've ever met anyone who got sex on average. This is a regular, consistent thing, not 1 time, but consistently 12 to 14 times per week. So anyway, I want to hear from you. Now, let me get back to it. As I mentioned before, the suggested baseline is 1 time per week, but it's very interesting because a different article that was released by Healthline showed that they interviewed 20,000 couples. Of that 20,000 couples, only 26% were hitting the baseline of 1 time per week or above. Now, to me, that just boggled my mind, because if this is the common goal for us to aim towards, if you are in a long-term relationship where it's once per week, is the bar set too high? Because only 26% are able to hit or even maintain that consistency. So that was very interesting to me. And if you think about it, 20%, 26% of 20,000 is 5,200. So that's a small number compared to the 20,000 that was interviewed. So with that being said, I'd like to dive into my answer and what I think and what I suggest for couples who are looking to identify how often they should be having sex. Now, if it was left up to me, I say as often as it feels good. And I know that's not a direct number, but the whole idea of sex and sexual pleasure is for you to be satisfied. So if you're aiming for 12 to 14 times per week, and it's causing you to feel uncomfortable, frustrated, your body doesn't no longer arouse and pleasurable and all of those good things, don't do that. Do what feels good for you and your partner. Now, that doesn't mean that if you want to have sex once a month and your partner want to have sex once a week, that you just totally disregard and do only what you feel led to do. No, it's a mutual decision. If you want to have sex once a week, your partner want to have sex once a month, then you guys need to come together to form some type of common ground where you can both be mutually satisfied. And that's what my recommendation is. So how often you should be having sex is how often you desire to. Do what works well for you and your partner, because that's the most important thing. So if you and your partner is aiming for a goal of 3 times per week, do that. Get it in 3 times per week. There are a ton of different benefits for indulging in sacred sexual pleasure. And I say sacred sexual pleasure because I'm talking about people and I'm talking to couples who are actually in a relationship. This is not applicable across the board. I'm not talking about teenagers, none of that. I'm talking about couples who are actually in a long-term committed married sacred relationship. So I just want to be clear in sharing that. But yes, like if you both desire 3 times a week, why not? Don't aim to lower it just because studies suggest or experts suggest 1 time per week. Do what works for you and your partner. If you want to get it in 12 to 14 times per week and it works for you and your partner, do just that. Now, back to the article where they also mentioned that a lot of couples are getting it in just once per month. Majority of the people who they spoke with were getting it in once per month. So with that being said, I say if that works for you in a partnership and you still have intimacy in other areas, then go ahead. Do it at once per month if that is what you both feel comfortable with doing. Have at it. The key is to make sure that you maintain that space of intimacy within the relationship. It doesn't just have to be pertaining to sex. You can have intimate fulfillment throughout other areas as well. Sex is just one component of intimacy. So if you are maintaining that level of intimacy and you're only getting it in 1 time per week, but you're still happy, you're still satisfied, 1 time per month, and you're still happy and you're still satisfied, then continue to do that. Don't feel you have to change or increase it. I personally would recommend getting it in as much as possible, but according to your satisfaction. So I say as much as possible, but 12 to 13, 12 to 14 times per week, that actually seems like a humongous stretch. I think eventually, and this is just my opinion, and this is why I do want to talk to those couples who are able to get it in 12 to 14 times per week, is because it seems as if it would start to become mundane, or either it would interfere with a way of living. And that's a big thing. As long as you're comfortable, as long as you're satisfied, as long as your needs are being met, or as long as your partner's needs are being met, those are the components that matters the most when it comes down to how often you and your partner should actually be getting it in. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, as well as comment below. And again, if you are one of those lucky couples who are able to maintain an average of 12 to 14 times per week, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. So I am sending you all so much love. I hope you all have an amazing day, and thank you for chiming in.